Hi and welcome to today's class. So it's the 24th of March 2020 and it's class number 70. We're going to continue to look at the third type of factorization today, so quadratic trinomials. So I'm going to first of all review the homework that you did last night. I'm going to go through each one. Because when you did it last night, it wasn't our usual form of a quiz, so it didn't tell you if it was right or wrong, so I just want to go through it. So I have seen the work, I haven't had a chance to come back to it all yet, so can you go to your copy and correct it as we go? And if there's any questions, again, please just ask me on Teams. So first step is we get our guide number. Our guide number here is the first number by the last number, so that's plus 2. What are the factors of plus 2? We have 2 times 1, and that is absolutely fine because we're trying to get that to add up to plus 3. So now that we found our factors that add up to plus 3, we're going to replace the plus 3 with 2x plus 1x, or just 1 if you, or just x if you prefer. And just at this point, double check, do they match? Is 2x plus 1x equal to 3x? And it is. So then we're going to do some grouping. So there's my first group, my second group. X is common, I'm left with x plus 2. Plus 1 is common, I'm left with x plus 2. X plus 2 is the common bracket, and then I'm left with x plus 1. If you did that the opposite way around, you could have x plus 1 times x plus 2, and that is absolutely perfect. So now let's look at question 11. So guide number is plus 20, factors of 20. So we have 20 by 1, we have 10 by 2, we have 5 by 4, and that is it, or 4 by 5. But we're not going to worry about going the opposite way. We want one that adds to 12x. So that means the correct one is 10 times 2. So that gives us x squared plus 10x plus 2x plus 20. We're going to double check. Does 10x plus 2x equal 12x? Yep, it does. We're good. And now we're going to do some grouping. X is common. We're left with x plus 10. Plus 2 is common, and we're left with x plus 10. X plus 10 is common, and x plus 2. Again, if you did it in a different order, your brackets would be in a different order, but otherwise it should be okay. So question 21. So we have guide number is first number by the last number. So that's plus 27. So we need some factors for 27. So 27, 27 by 1, 2 doesn't divide into it. 3 does, so that would be 9 times 3. 4 doesn't go into it, 5 doesn't go into it, 6 doesn't go into it, 7 doesn't go into it, 8 doesn't go into it, 9 goes into it, but we've already got that covered. So that's all we have. We're trying to find the answer that adds to 12x. That's going to be 9 by 3. So we have x squared plus 9x plus 3x plus 27. Double check, is 9x plus 3x equal to 27? And it is. And then we're going to do our grouping. So we have x, bracket x plus 9, plus 3, bracket x plus 9. X plus 9 is common, and we get x plus 3. So our last one of this section, so this was a nice easy one. They were all positive. We didn't have to worry about signs. We just had to worry about multiplication and adding. So if you need to skip through to the next ones, do. Just double check you've got the right answers. 42. So I'm going to do 42 by 1. That is 21 by 2. 3 does divide in, and it's actually 14 by 3. 4 doesn't go in. 5 doesn't go in. 6 does, so it's 7 times 6, and then 6 times 7. Okay. So the one that will work is 7 times 6. So we're going to replace that plus 13x with 7 times 6. So we get x squared plus 7x plus 6x plus 42. Just double check. It's a good habit to get into, even though you might be saying, well, of course it's right. At the moment, yes, but signs can cause big problems. So as we move forward, it's so important to do that check. So here's our two groups. So we get x bracket x plus 7. Oh, I'm going to go back to the colour I should be using. X bracket x plus 7 plus 6 bracket x plus 7. My brackets are the same. So x plus 7 is the same, bracket x plus 6. And if it's the opposite way around, absolutely perfect. So the second exercise, so this is where the signs became a little bit more fun. So the steps are still the same. So my guide number here is plus 2. Now, we want to get a minus. So remember that the plus means same signs. So if I want to end up with a negative, they're both going to have to be minus answers. So I have 2 by 1 or minus 2 by minus 1. They're my options. The one that works for minus 3x is this one here. So we have x squared minus 2x minus 1x plus 2. When we have a plus at the end, actually, that's nearly the easy. Well, it definitely is easier than if the minus is at the end. So this one here, we have minus 2x minus 1x. We're going to do a bit of grouping now. And we're left with x bracket x minus 2. Here we have a minus, 1 is common, and we have x minus 2. What's your signs there? Because plus 2 divided by minus 1 is minus 2. X minus 2 is common, and we get x minus 1. If your bracket's the opposite way around, absolutely no problem at all. So then we're going to do question 2. So x squared minus 5x plus 6. So the guide number is plus 6. Again, plus means same signs. And I want to get a minus 5x. So the minus means that I'm going to be talking about 6 times 1 and 3 times 2 or 2 times 3, but they're both going to have to be negative. So therefore the one I'm looking at is minus 3 times minus 2. That is x squared minus 3x minus 2x plus 6. Just double check. Is that correct? Minus 3x minus 2x. Yeah, minus 5x. And then we're going to do our grouping. The grouping is x bracket x minus 3. And here we've minus 2 is common. X, again, watch your sign. Plus 6 divided by minus 2 is actually minus 3. And x minus 3, that bracket is the same. It's common, we pull it out. And we get x minus 3 times x minus 2. And if that changes, if you're opposite way around, so if you have x minus 2 times x minus 3, absolutely perfect. So now, these ones, guide number is minus 8. Now remember that the minus here means it's going to have different signs. So let's see what happens. We're going to have, let's write out all our factors. 8 times 1, so it could be a minus 8 and a plus 1, or it could be an 8 and a minus 1. We have 4 and 2, so it could be minus 4 plus 2, or plus 4 by minus 2. And that's it. So then we need to figure out which one gives minus 2x when I add them. So minus 8 plus 1, no, that gives me minus 7. Plus 8 minus 1 gives me plus 7. Minus 4 plus 2, oh, this is our one here, because that gives me minus 2. Here, 4 subtract 2 would just give me 2. So we're going to rewrite this as x squared minus 4x plus 2x minus 8. And this is where the checking becomes really important to make sure you put the signs in correct. Is minus 4x plus 2x the same as minus 2x? And it is. So now we can do our grouping. We get x is common, x minus 4, plus 2 is common, x minus 4. Brackets are the same, so x minus 4 is a common bracket, and we get x plus 2. Here, again, our guide number is negative. It's when this guide number turns negative that really we are challenged. So different signs. And so what are the factors? We are going to have 20 by 1, but that could be minus 20 plus 1 or plus 20 by minus 1. We could have 10 by 2, again minus 10 by plus 2, or 10 by minus 2. Or we could have 5 by 4, so minus 5 by 4, or 5 by minus 4, and that's it. So we're trying to figure out which one gives us minus 8x. Minus 8x. So the one that works for us is minus 10 plus 2. So we're going to change this to x squared minus 10x plus 2x minus 20. And just double check your signs have been it's all correct. So minus 10 plus 2x, that is minus 8x. So we'll do our bit of grouping here. Now we get x, bracket x minus 10, plus 2, bracket x minus 10. X minus 10 is common, times x plus 2. And again, if they're the other way around, it's absolutely fine. So let's go through the last 4 questions. So here we have guide number, and the guide number is minus 3. Remember, minus means we're going to have different signs. So this is factors that add to give me a plus 2. So we could have minus 3 by 1 or 3 by minus 1. So the correct pair for us is 3, positive 3, and a minus 1. So what that looks like is we get x squared plus 3x minus 1x. You don't have to put that 1 in. You can just write x if you prefer. Minus 3. Double check. 3x minus 1x, does that give me 2x? And it does. And then we're going to group them together. So we have x, bracket x plus 3. Here we have minus 1 is common. Remember, 1 is always common. If you can't see anything bigger than 1, you can use 1. Always follow the sign of that third term. That gives us minus 3 divided by minus 1, which is plus 3. And we get x plus 3 times x minus 1. Again, if your brackets are the opposite way around, absolutely no problem. Next question, guide number is going to be minus 7. Again, minus means our answers, so the factors will have different signs. And what that means for us is we get minus 7 by 1 or 7 and minus 1. We want it to add to plus 6, so our answer is 7 and minus 1. We get x squared plus 7x minus 1x minus 7. We double check, is 7x minus 1x the same as 6x? And it is. And then we're going to do our grouping. So x is common, leaving us with an x plus 7. A minus 1 is common, leaving us with an x plus 7 as well. Remember, minus 7 divided by minus 1 will give me plus 7. And that gives me x plus 7 times x minus 1. So question 31, guide number here is minus 22. And again, we have minus, so that is different signs. So we need to work out all of these factors. We wanted to add plus 9x. So we can have 22 and 1. So that could be minus 22 by 1 or 22 by minus 1. We could then have 11 by 2. So minus 11 by 2 or 11 by minus 2. And after that, nope, that's it. So the one that works for us is going to be 11 subtract 2. So we get x squared plus 11x minus 2x minus 22 Double check, is 11x minus 2x the same as 9x? And it is. And now we can do grouping. So we have x is common, x plus 11. Minus 2 is common, and we get x plus 11, leaving us with x plus 11 times x minus 2. Again, brackets the opposite way around, no problem. Okay, so question 32. Guide number is plus 4. So we're back to a plus. Lovely. Remember, plus means same signs. And we want them to add up to be a minus 4, which means we're focusing in on the negative ones. So I have minus 4 by minus 1, or I have minus 2 by minus 2. So the one that works for us is minus 2 and minus 2, because added together, minus 2 is actually minus 4. X squared minus 2x plus 4. Just double check. Did that add correctly? Minus 2x is minus 4x, yeah. And now we can do our grouping. So x bracket x minus 2, x minus 2. Remember, 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. Really watch your signs. X minus 2, the brackets are the same, it's common, we pull it out in front, and we get 2 of our factors as being the same. X minus 2 times x minus 2. We're going to look at some more complex examples now. When we say more complex, it's because of the calculation of the guide number. Everything else is exactly the same. So although the guide number may feel very long for the previous questions, it means that we have the same method working for easier and for harder questions. So what I mean by that is here, example 5, 5x squared minus 7x plus 2. The guide number is the first number by the last number. Now, up to now, I've been saying it, but really it's just been the last number because the first number was always 1. However, for us now, we have a guide number of plus 10. So important. And we need to work out, because so plus means the same signs. However, we want them to add to be a negative 7. So we have 10 times 1. So it could be minus 10 minus 1. We could have 5 times 2, so negative 5, negative 2, and that's it. So it's going to be minus 5 by minus 2. So that is 5x squared minus 5x minus 2x plus 2. Double check. Is minus 5x minus 2x the same as minus 7x? And yes, it is. We're going to do our grouping now. So 5x squared, if it helps, you can write that as 5xx. So there's a 5 common and an x common. That leaves us with x minus 1. We follow the sign here, so minus 2 is common and we're left with x. Watch your sign, 2 divided by minus 2 is minus 1. And we combine these, so x minus 1 is common, so I pull that out. And we get 5x minus 2. If you wrote your brackets the other way around, it would also be correct. So the method, the only thing that's different in these more complex examples is how we get the guide number. So it's important, I think, not to dwell too long on the ones that have a coefficient of 1, so the 1 at the very start, the x squared, because you can get in the habit of just looking at that end number. But now we really need to focus on getting the guide number by multiplying the first coefficient, so the coefficient of x squared, by the constant. So factorize the following quadratic trinomial. We need to understand the guide number. It's going to be the first by the last, so 3 by minus 4. Really watch your signs here. So what that means for us is the guide number is actually minus 12. Remember that minus means they're going to have different signs. So what that means is we're going to have one that's plus and one that's minus. So we could have 12 by 1. So minus and a plus, 12 by minus 1. We have 6 by 2, so minus, or 6 by minus 2. 4 by 3, so minus 4, and plus 4 by minus 3. And we need to figure out which one of those groups add up to x. Remember, that's actually a 1x. So basically what will add to 1, positive 1. and it's going to be 4 times minus 3. So we're going to replace, so we have 3x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 4. Double check, and this is where the double check is so important. 4x minus 3x, does that give me x? Yep, we're good. And now we're going to do our grouping. Group 1, group 2. Now, x is common. Leaves us with 3x plus 4. Follow your sign, minus, but there's nothing common. We hopefully know at this point that nothing common means a 1 is actually in common. And we're left with 3x plus 4. Brackets are the same, so they are common. I'm going to pull that out in front. 3x plus 4, and I get an x minus 1. And that's my answer. So a little bit of extra work because the way we are multiplying to get the guide number, that will mean that it definitely won't be prime. So we will have more than just 1 or 2 factor pairs to look at, and that is pretty much the only reason they become a bit more complex. So factorize the following quadratic expression. So we need the first term, or the first coefficient, and the last term. So that gives us a guide number of plus 24, which is nice, but also we're looking to add plus 11, so everything is pluses, so lovely and easy. So 24 by 1, 12 by 2, 8 by 3, 6 by 4, and that is it. So which one adds to give me 11? And the answer is 8 plus 3. So we get 2x squared plus 8x plus 3x plus 12. Just double check. 8x plus 3x, does that equal 11x? And it does. So we get 2x squared plus 8x in one group and 3x plus 12 in the other. 2x is common, leaving me with x plus 4. Plus 3 is common, leaving me with x plus 4. X plus 4 is common, so I'm going to pull that out in front. And 2x plus 3 is what's left. So example 8, so it's a more complex example. So it asks us to simplify, then factorize the simplified expression. So we have a little bit of multiplication and all to do. Remember that squaring a bracket is the same as just multiplying it by itself. So we have 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1 plus x minus 1 times x minus 1. And then we have here a minus 2 by 7x by minus 1. So we end up with a minus 14x plus 2. I would like if you'd pause it here and try it yourself and get down to the expression. You don't have to factorize it, and then press play and scrub through if you need to, just to see did you get the right final answer. So hopefully you've done this yourself. So the first step is to split the bracket. So 2x plus 1 plus 1 times 2x plus 1 plus x times x minus 1 minus 1 times x minus 1, and then we still have a minus 14 plus 2 here. The multiplication is relatively straightforward. Just watch out for your signs. In particular, the minus here. When you multiply by a minus, things can go wrong. So just watch out. So we get 4x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 1 plus x squared minus x plus 1, watch your signs, minus 14, oh, I lost my x here, minus 14x plus 2. I'll tidy that up a little bit, minus 14x. So now we're going to add our like terms. So I'm going to get my highlighter, and I have an x squared term, an x squared term. I have an x term. Remember, when you're highlighting, bring the sign in front of the term. That's what belongs to it. And then I'm running out of highlighter colors, so I'm just going to use the squiggly line to help with the numbers. So we got 4x plus x squared is 5x squared. 2x plus 2x is 4x. Subtract an x, 3x. Subtract an x, 2x. So I have 2x minus 14x, and that gives me minus 12x. And I get a plus 4 now at the end. So that is your expression. We're now going to do, as per usual, the guide number. Our guide number is the first term by the last term. Well, the first coefficient, first number by the last number. So it's really our 5 by 4. Be careful of your signs. In our case, it's a plus 20. Plus means we're going to have the same signs. We want these factors to add to minus 12x, so we're dealing with the negative factors. So we have 20 by 1, so that's minus 20 by minus 1. Or we have 10 by 2, so again minus 10 by minus 2, 5 by 4. So the correct one that will give us minus 12 is minus 10 by minus 2. So we get 5x squared minus 10x minus 2x plus 4, double check, minus 10x minus 2x, does that give me minus 12x? It does. So now we're going to come and do our grouping. So our grouping is 5 is common, x is common, we get x minus 2. Here we have minus and 2 is common, and we get x, what's your signs? Plus 4 divided by minus 2 is minus 2. X minus 2 is common, the brackets are the same, and that gives me times 5x minus 2. Again, if your brackets are the opposite way around, absolutely no problem. So for homework, you're going to be doing a selection of these more complex questions. Again, I have linked them in assignments, through assignments in a form. And again, I want you to show that work. If you prefer, I'm happy to take it as a picture. So you can just do these in your copy and post up a picture. I'll go through all of these questions tomorrow. It's a great chance for you really to practice those signs. So if signs were an issue for you last night, really focus in on them tonight.